There are moments the forest feels older than time, not because of its age, but because of the way it watches. You don't notice it at first. You think it's just wind or a shadow or the way branches shift when you're not looking. But then something changes.
Lately, the mornings have been different. The light doesn't fall the same way through the trees. The birds don't sing as early. Even the air feels heavier, like it's holding its breath. And Elowen? She's been waking before dawn, standing at the edge of the clearing with her hands clasped behind her back, staring into the woods as if she's waiting for someone to step out. She doesn't speak when I call her name. She just tilts her head slightly, like she's listening to something far away, something only she can hear. There's a stillness around her now, a quiet that doesn't belong to morning, a quiet that feels borrowed.
The forest is shifting, and I think it wants me to shift with it.
I didn't know what she meant, but today, when she handed me that torn page from her journal, I realized this wasn't the beginning of something new. No, it was the first sign of something that had already begun. You know, there's an old saying about these woods, one I haven't thought of in years. I remember my grandfather would whisper it to me at night as the lanterns would flicker, casting dancing shadows upon the cabin's walls. He would always gaze out at the forest through the big picture window and say, you know, the forest doesn't take people, it trades for them, never taking his eyes off the forest. I never understood it as a child. I always thought that the woods were dangerous, that you had to be careful not to wander too far. So I would never go too close to the tree line. But now that I am older, I think he meant something else, something quieter, something older, something patient. And if you look closely, the forest is always there, hiding in the background of everything. You know, I seen Elowen a couple days ago. She was holding her composure, but her eyes. I will never forget her emerald green eyes staring back at me. Yeah, they had a sense of urgency. I noticed her hands were shaking as she handed me something. And when I took it from her, I saw that it was a torn page from her journal. Looking back to ask her what this meant, she was gone. No footsteps, no rustling leaves, nothing. Just, just gone. Vanished. Elowen's page, it had a symbol drawn on it. In the corner, a small spiral made of uneven lines, matching the patterns of her shaking hands. But this symbol, yeah, this symbol was familiar. You see, I have seen it before in recent days. It was carved into old fence posts, scratched into stones down by the river, even painted on the inside of an old hollowed out black oak tree. That no one, yeah, that no one wanted to admit ever touching. But this symbol, well, it's a mark the forest leaves when it's choosing. And the strange thing is, the spiral on Elowen's page, well, it wasn't drawn in her usual ink. No, this time it was darker, thicker, ancient. It looked almost like it had seeped through from the other side of the page. But there was a sentence. Yeah. She was able to write one sentence underneath the spiral, but the ink felt heavier than it should have, like something was watching her write it. It said, "The forest is listening." I keep telling myself this is nothing. It's just a feeling. But once you name a change, it's harder to pretend it's not there. Upon looking closer, the spiral was uneven, hurried, like she didn't mean to draw it, or if she even remembers drawing it. But the forest? Yeah, the forest, it always remembers. But tonight, well, tonight was different. When I passed by Elowen's window, I saw her silhouette just standing perfectly still, facing the woods again, just like Grandpa used to do. But her head was tilted in that same listening posture. The trees were swaying, rocking gently back and forth, but the air, it was calm. No wind, no sound, just movement where there shouldn't have been any. And for a moment, just a brief moment, I thought I saw something sway back. Whatever is happening to her, whatever the forest is whispering, this is only the first change.
The forest listens, and now I think it's listening to me.
So be weary of the forest around you. The first change is easy to miss unless you've learned what to look for. Of course, change never arrives loudly. It settles in quietly like dust around the edges of a room. And from a distance, nothing looks wrong. You only see it when you get closer, when you're really listening. So, are you gonna listen? Are you gonna get closer? Are you gonna be Elowen? If you've enjoyed this craft plus lore, let me know. And come back to my cozy corner of the woods where the forest will let us in on another secret.